was never the son my parents wanted. That title belonged to my older brother, Tyler. In my house, Tyler was the son, and the rest of us just revolved around him. If Tyler failed a math test, it was the teacher's fault. If Tyler got caught speeding, the police were targeting him. Meanwhile, I was the invisible child. I cooked my own dinners, did my own laundry, and maintained a 4.0 GPA just hoping someone would look at me and say, "Good job." They never did. But my grandfather did. Grandpa George was my mother's father, but he couldn't stand her parenting style. He saw exactly what was happening. He was a self-made man, a carpenter who built a small fortune with his own hands. He used to take me fishing and say, "You've got grit, kid. Tyler has charm, but charm doesn't pay the mortgage. Grit does." When I was 16, Grandpa George sat me down. He looked frail. The cancer was eating him away quickly, but his eyes were sharp. "I'm leaving you something," he whispered, pressing a heavy hand on my shoulder. "I've set aside $100,000. It's in a custodial account. Your mother is the trustee until you turn 18, but that money is yours. For college. For a house. Don't let them touch it." I cried, not because of the money, but because he was the only person who believed in me. 2 weeks later, he passed away. The next 2 years were a blur. I focused everything on getting into a top-tier engineering program. I knew that $100,000 was my ticket out of that toxic house. I didn't say a word about it to my parents. I just assumed they knew the rules. It was a legal will, right? Then came the acceptance letter. I got into my dream school, out of state. It was expensive, but with Grandpa's money, I could afford it without drowning in debt. I ran downstairs to the kitchen, waving the letter. I got in. I shouted. I actually got in. My mom was chopping vegetables. My dad was reading the paper. Tyler, who was 20 and currently taking a break from community college, playing video games in the basement, was eating cereal. "That's nice, honey," Mom said, not looking up. "But we can't afford out-of-state tuition. You know that." "I know," I said, my heart racing. "But Grandpa's fund. The inheritance. I turn 18 next week. I can use that." The room went deadly silent. The kind of silence that feels heavy, like the air has been sucked out. My dad folded his newspaper slowly. My mom stopped chopping. Tyler suddenly found his cereal very interesting. "We need to talk about that," my dad said, clearing his throat. "Sit down." I didn't sit. I stood there, clutching my acceptance letter, feeling a cold pit form in my stomach. Talk about what? It's my money. Grandpa left it to me. "Well," my mom started, her voice taking on that shrill, defensive tone she used whenever she was guilty. "Money is a fluid thing. We've had a lot of expenses recently. The roof needed fixing, and Tyler needed a fresh start." I looked at Tyler. He wouldn't meet my eyes. "What do you mean?" I asked, my voice trembling. "Tyler has had a hard time," Dad said firmly. "He needed reliable transportation to get to his interviews, and he had some outstanding debts from that business venture that didn't work out." "Debts?" I choked out. "You mean his gambling debts? You mean the sports betting? Don't you judge your brother." Mom snapped. "We are a family. We help each other. We decided that it was unfair for you to have all that money sitting there doing nothing while your brother was suffering. So," I felt dizzy. "How much is left?" Dad sighed. "Look, we bought him the new truck, a Ford Raptor. It's an investment. And we paid off his credit cards. And we had to pay taxes. How much is left?" I screamed. "About $2,000, Mom muttered. I felt like I had been shot. $100,000. Gone. They stole my future to buy a $70,000 truck for a dropout who hadn't worked a day in his life. I walked to the window. Outside, sitting in the driveway, was the beast. A shiny, black Ford Raptor. It was customized. It probably had heated seats. It was parked right next to my rusted bicycle. "You stole from me," I whispered. "We didn't steal." Dad yelled, slamming his hand on the table. "I am the parent. I decide how this family's resources are allocated. You are selfish. You think you're better than us just because you get good grades? You're going to go to community college like everyone else. I looked at them. Really looked at them. I saw the entitlement in Tyler's eyes, the defensiveness in my mom's, the arrogance in my dad's. I realized then that I didn't have parents. I had leeches. I turned around and walked out of the kitchen. Where are you going? Mom called out. Don't you walk away from me. We put a roof over your head. I didn't answer. I went to my room, locked the door, and pulled out my phone. I didn't call a friend. I didn't cry. I called the police. The police officer who arrived was sympathetic, but he told me what I feared. Technically, since your mother was the trustee, this is a civil matter. You'll have to sue them. But here is a police report number for the record. When the cop left, the explosion happened. You called the cops on your own blood. My dad roared, his face purple. Over money. Over paper. It's not paper, I said, grabbing a duffel bag and shoving clothes into it. It's my life. It's my education. Tyler needs it more. Mom screamed, blocking my bedroom door. She was crying, but they were angry tears, not sad ones. You are smart. You can get scholarships. You can work. Tyler is sensitive. He needs a leg up. The world is too hard for him. Why are you so greedy? I'm leaving, I said, pushing past her. And I'm not greedy. I'm just done. I stayed on my best friend's couch for 2 weeks. During the day, I skipped school to meet with lawyers. Most turned me away because I couldn't pay a retainer. But the fourth one, a shark of a woman named Ms. Vance, took one look at the trust documents Grandpa had signed and then at the receipt for the Ford Raptor I had managed to photograph before leaving. This is a slam dunk, she said, lighting a cigarette. Breach of fiduciary duty. Conversion of funds. We are going to eat them alive. I'll take it on contingency. 2 days later, my parents were served. They didn't take it well. I started getting voicemails. First voicemail, Dad, you ungrateful little brat. Drop this lawsuit or don't bother coming home. We will countersue you for room and board for the last 18 years. Ms. Vance laughed when she heard that one. That's not how the law works, she said. Second voicemail, Tyler, dude, seriously? They're gonna have to sell the truck. I have a date on Friday. Don't be a dick. Just drop it. Third voicemail, Mom, please, honey. We can't afford a lawyer. We are family. Family forgives. I didn't forgive. I pressed forward. The court date was humiliating for them. They didn't have a lawyer. They tried to represent themselves. My dad stood up and tried to give a speech about how parenting is about making tough choices and how socialism is ruining the youth. The judge cut him off. Mr. Last name, did you or did you not spend funds from a UTMA account designated for the plaintiff on a vehicle registered to another party? Well, yes, but... Judgment for the plaintiff. The judge banged the gavel. You are ordered to repay the full principal of $100,000, plus legal fees. We don't have that kind of money, my mom shrieked from the defense table. We spent it. Then I suggest you liquidate your assets, the judge said coldly, starting with that truck. The satisfaction I felt watching them in the hallway afterwards was indescribable. Tyler was actually crying, not because his parents were in financial ruin, but because he was losing his wheels. You ruined everything, Tyler spat at me. I hope you're happy. I'm not happy, I said, looking him in the eye. I'm just paid. It took 3 months to get the money. They had to sell the Ford Raptor at a loss because Tyler had already scratched the bumper. They had to drain their emergency savings. And finally, they had to take out a second mortgage on the house. The day the check cleared, I packed up my rusted car to drive to university. My mom was sitting on the porch, smoking a cigarette, looking 10 years older. She didn't look at me as I walked down the driveway. If you leave, she said quietly, don't come back. You chose money over love. I stopped and looked at the house. I looked at the spot where the Raptor used to be. No, Mom, I said. You chose Tyler over me. I just corrected the error. I got in my car and drove away. I didn't look in the rearview mirror. I went to college, I stuttered like a maniac, and I never answered a single phone call from that area code again. I thought that was the end of it. I really did. But karma plays the long game. It has been 7 years since I drove away from that house. I wish I could tell you I struggled, but I didn't. Fueled by spite and that $100,000 I clawed back in court, I finished my engineering degree at the top of my class. I landed a job at a major tech firm in Seattle. I invested wisely. 2 years ago, I started my own consulting agency. I am now 25 years old. I own a 4-bedroom house overlooking the water. I have a fiancée who actually loves me for me, not for what I can do for her. Life is quiet. Life is good. I hadn't heard a whisper from my family until last Tuesday. It was raining hard, a classic Seattle downpour. My fiancée and I were cooking dinner when the gate intercom buzzed. I checked the camera feed on the wall. My blood ran cold. Standing there, soaked to the bone, were 3 people. My father, looking frail and grey. My mother, clutching a plastic garbage bag of clothes. And Tyler. Tyler looked the worst. He was 27 now, but he looked 40. His face was gaunt, his teeth looked bad, and he was wearing a hoodie that had seen better days. I told my fiancée to stay in the kitchen. I grabbed an umbrella and walked out to the gate. I didn't open it. I spoke to them through the iron bars. "What do you want?" I asked. My mom burst into tears immediately. "Oh, honey, you look so good. Look at this house. We knew you'd do well. What do you want?" I repeated, harder this time. My dad stepped forward, holding the bars. "We lost the house, son. The bank took it last month. And we have nowhere to go," Dad said, his voice cracking. "We've been living in a motel, but the money ran out. Tyler had some legal trouble, and the lawyer fees ate up everything we had left after the second mortgage." I looked at Tyler. He wouldn't meet my gaze. He was staring at my Audi parked in the driveway. "So let me get this straight," I said, my voice cutting through the rain. "You took out a second mortgage to pay me back the money you stole. Then you spent the rest of your equity bailing Tyler out of legal trouble. And now you want to live here. We are family." Mom sobbed. "We are homeless. You can't let your parents sleep on the street. You have plenty of room." "I do have room," I agreed, "but I don't have room for thieves." That was years ago. Tyler shouted, suddenly finding his voice. "Get over it, man. You're rich. Help us out." I laughed. It was a dark, dry laugh. "You know, Tyler, you're right. I am rich. Do you know why? Because while you were driving that truck and partying, I was studying. While you were draining Mom and Dad's retirement, I was building a career." I turned to my parents. "You made an investment. You invested everything, your money, your love, your attention, into Tyler. You bet the farm on the golden child. And this." I gestured to the shivering, broken man beside them. "This is your return on investment. Please," my dad begged, "just for a few weeks, until we get on our feet." "No," I said. "If I let you in, you'll never leave. You'll drain me just like you drained Grandpa's fund. I am not your retirement plan." I reached into my pocket and pulled out my wallet. I took out a crisp $20 bill. I slid it through the bars. "Here," I said. "This should cover a meal at a diner. That's more than you gave me when I left." "You go to hell." Tyler screamed, spitting at the gate. "I've already been there," I said calmly. "I lived in your house for 18 years. I turned around and walked back up the driveway. My mother was screaming my name. My dad was shaking the gate. Tyler was cursing. I walked inside, locked the heavy oak door, and engaged the deadbolt. I went back to the kitchen, where my fiancée was waiting with a glass of wine. "Who was it?" she asked, looking concerned. I took a sip of wine and looked at the security monitor one last time. They were walking away, disappearing into the dark, rainy street. "Nobody," I said. "Just some solicitors." I turned off the monitor. We sat down to eat, and for the first time in my life, the silence wasn't lonely. It was peaceful.